Hi, Mari. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm grateful for
course.
your time and really appreciate you being willing to just answer some questions. It helps me as far as like sharing client experiences and having social proof of the program and how it worked for you. So
Awesome.
I wanted to start by asking you, what were you doing before we started working together?
Too much and not enough. So let me explain. I was doing a lot of, trying to figure out my own meals, getting in workouts occasionally, very occasionally. I mean, very sporadic. And at the same time, it felt like I was getting nowhere. And so, it's like if you take 4 steps in any direction, you end up nowhere. You end up going in a circle. But if you take 4 steps forward, you end up somewhere else. Yeah. And so I figured I definitely need some more structure. And that's why I reached out.
I am so glad that you reached out. And I thought it was so interesting the way we connected as well on Instagram. What did we do together that was so valuable to you?
So going back to doing too much, I think when we have a lot of priorities as human beings, you have a rigorous a job, or your schedule is crazy, or you have a kid or multiple kids, I think that it becomes difficult to manage your time. And that's definitely one of the things that I was challenged with. And so one of the things that we did was figure out a schedule and a plan that worked best for me. That was so valuable. And I think that's also one of the things that drew me to wanting to work with you. It was knowing that I'd have somebody who would be in a partnership with me, who would help me along the way. And I think we did that. To be more specific, though, one of the things that helped the most was the meal planning. For me, the meal planning, I had done programs in the past, and they were always very structured, always macro-based. And, it was just easy to have a flexible plan where, I knew I could open up my PDF and say, hey, here's a guideline of what you should have. Here's, meal 1, here are your options. It wasn't just like, here's your plan, you got to follow it. It was, here are your options. And so I feel like that helped me create structure, and it helped me just get on a better path.
How are you doing?
How am I doing things now? So now that I have a structure in place, and now that I have a better understanding of my time, I think I've prioritized things differently. I've realized that, hey, you've got different priorities, and I think oftentimes when we think about our priorities, we tend to think about work priorities, but we don't put everything into their own little priority buckets. We have our own life priorities, we have our work priorities, and then we have, maybe our health priorities, or however you structure your buckets. And so I think one of the things that kind of made me start to prioritize my life in this way is this program. I kind of took a step back and said, how am I going to put me first? I'm just constantly putting other people ahead of me, whether it be, my team at work, or my kid, or my husband. And you hear it all the time. People say, you can't take care of everyone else unless you take care of yourself first. And so I think that's what has shifted the most. And what I'm doing now is making time for me, whether it be 20 minutes, or whether it be like a quick, hey, I can only do a power workout today, and tomorrow is a new day, and then you start back up. I think that's what I'm doing, because every time I had an experience where I fell off the wagon, it was like, okay, I'll start back up another time, forget it. And so having somebody that I could rely on and talk to, it was like, okay, no, I can start back up tomorrow. It's okay that today didn't go the way I planned. because your priorities continuously shift. So that's what I'm doing differently.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing all of that. Were you nervous about making the investment?
Great question. I honestly, no. I think it really depends on the stage of life that you're in, you know, and obviously like budget and what you're comfortable with. For me, I wanted to make sure that I found somebody that I truly wanted to work with. I literally found you through organic search on Instagram. And so that was important to me, is just making that connection. And that's what mattered most, not necessarily the financial investment. So worth it. Absolutely.
Excellent. I'm so glad that you felt that way. And my last question is, are you glad that we did this?
Definitely. Yeah, I can't say enough about just, obviously there's a portion of this that was like self-realization, but the program definitely helped me make those steps in the right direction. And I feel like I can take it with me, you know, whether we work together again or not, it's added value to your life. And I think anytime you make an investment, if it adds value to your life, it was definitely.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate all of this. I'm going to stop recording.